And they join me right now. And you remember days like this where you get to talk to music royalty. Joining us right now, talking about Hits the Musical, which is going to be at the Cullen Center here in Houston, Texas, H Town on April the 30th. The co producers join me right now, Dionne Warwick and her son, Damon Elliott. Good morning to you both. Thank you for taking the time.
Good morning. Good morning.
Let's get right into it. Hits the Musical. Miss Warwick, why did you feel like you wanted to be a part of this Hits the Musical and co-produce it?
Well, first of all, it has to do with the age group that is participating in this wonderful show. Um, there's very, very talented youngsters who are showing that they have enormous talent. Um, I was asked to be a part of it, and it appeals to me. Once I saw it, I had to say, let's go.
And Damon, for people who don't know, what can they expect from Hits the Musical?
Say it again. I'm sorry.
What
What's
what
the what?
what can people expect from Hits the Musical? If people don't know about the show, what can they expect if they go to see it?
Oh, well, you can expect one, of course, great music, and you can expect super high energy performances from these kids. I mean, from dancing to singing to the guitar playing. I mean, it's just amazing. It's amazing.
It's an amazing show. Again, it's going to be at the Cullen Center, April the 30th here in Houston, Texas. But Damon, I'm going to go back to you for a second. You've had an incredible year thus far. Congratulations on your success, a Grammy win, an Oscar nomination for a song that you had a part in creating. How does this year going for you so far?
Oh my God, everything's going amazing. I mean, it's been quite a ride, quite a journey so far, and I'm also celebrating the release of "Peace Like a River" with Mom and Auntie Dolly, as I call her, and we're cruising right along. Man. We're cruising right along.
And Miss Warwick, you haven't stopped. You've never stopped since we first heard your voice come over the airwaves or on a record. You continue to put out hits. Yeah, your son's just talking about working with Dolly Parton. What keeps you going?
Love what I do. And apparently people are expecting it from me and are loving it as well.
I want to say this. You said one time there are a lot of because your songs are legendary. Everybody knows at least one, if not a dozen or more, Dionne Warwick songs. But you said one time there are a lot of people who sing my songs, but no one sings them like Dionne Warwick, which I agree with, by the way. What makes your gift so unique?
Basically, because the songs are written specifically for me. It's like going to a dressmaker and having a fine dress made for my body. Nobody else can wear it.
Right, right. These songs are written for you. These dresses are made for you. Only Dionne Warwick can pull it off. Damon, I think you would agree with this. We are who we are as men because of our mothers. And you've had a great role model in a mother. What have you learned most from your mom that you've taken in your own career?
Oh, I've learned the biggest lesson that both me and my brother have learned from Mom is to just simply be you. You know, be who you are. You can't be anyone else. And we carry that mantra, if you will, with us daily on our journey. And that's kind of lesson number one that my mom taught me.
And Ms. Warwick, what do you think of your son's success? I mean, he's had an incredible career, obviously, on in his own right, but recently hitting a great stride. Are you just proud, grinning from ear to ear every day?
Yeah, wearing blouses with buttons. They're buttoning up every single day. It's wonderful that he has honed his craft, and it's paying off for him, which I'm thrilled about.
Now, Damon, when you talk about co-producing a musical like Hits the Musical, what all goes into it from your end? Like, what is your role within the musical?
My role with this musical is simply this. They brought me on as an executive producer, um, kind of literally enjoy the show, help promote the show. You know, we they actually asked for comments and production ideas, and both Mom and I look at each other and go, "This is so perfect. We don't have any." Literally, like I am just simply enjoying the show. I'm also working on bringing the show to Las Vegas as a residency. So that's my main goal right now while it's on the road. Is to end up in Vegas in a residency.
Oh, well, we hope you get it. Again, April the 30th, it'll be at the Cullen Center. Hits the musical. Go find information now how you can get tickets and go see this incredible show, co-produced by the great Damon Elliott and the legendary Miss Dionne Warwick. Miss Warwick, when we start any career, there's a lot of people that we look up to. There are a lot of people who give us great advice. Can you remember a piece of advice that somebody gave you in your career that helped really set you in the right direction?
Well, I've had so many iconic mentors, but basically my family, my mommy and my dad, who were very, very instrumental in saying to me many, many years ago, as David just said, and I hand you this to them, be who you are because you can't be anyone else. And I really don't want to be anybody else. I like me.
Well, so do millions of people. Millions of people love Dionne Warwick. Out of all the songs that you've sing, like when I found out that I was going to talk to you yesterday, I was literally through the roof. I just been going through the hits. Say a Little Prayer for You is obviously one that everybody loves. What's the song though that you always look forward to singing, Miss Warwick?
Every single one of them.
Every one
Each
of them.
one of them, I like my children. Yes, they're like my babies. As I said, they're written for me. They're mine, and I don't like one over the other.
Damon, I'm going to throw the same question to you. What's your favorite song that your mother sings?
Well, I have quite a few. How much time you got? I mean, actually, one of my favorite songs is a song I always tell Mom called Two Ships. I love that song so much.
Incredible. Well, look, y'all going to have a great musical. Hits the musical, takes the road. It's going to be here in the Houston area on April the 30th at the Cullen Center. Miss Dionne Warwick and Damon Elliott joined us this morning. Thank y'all so much for taking the time, and congrats on all your continued success in this incredible musical.
Thank you.
Take care.
Have a good one. And he joins me right now. We're talking about The Company You Keep, the new drama that's on right now, airing on your television screens. One of the stars of the show joins us again, Mr. William Fichtner. Will, how you doing this morning?
Just excellent. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. It's so great to talk to you because, I think that you've been a part of so many of my favorite shows and movies and just so many memorable performances. So it's always great to talk to you. Let's talk about The Company You Keep, because this show, when I saw promos for it, when I saw the promos for it, I said, this is a show that's made for me. I love the spy stuff. I love the secret agent things, the drama of the show. Talk about what attracted the project to you.
Well, it's a story that follows Milo Ventimiglia, the actor who plays Charlie, and I'm his dad. We're a family that owns a bar. I have a daughter, I have a son, and a wife, and all fantastic actors. And the bar is our family business, but it's really a bit of a cover for something else. We're a family of grifters, and so every episode is a different journey. And I knew from the pilot episode that I believe if it ain't on the page, it ain't on the stage. So well-written material is the key. And I thought the pilot script for this show was one of the better that I've ever read. And that's what you look for, because listen, if it's not good, and odds are it's not going to get much better. If your basic premise doesn't really grab you. And when I read this pilot, I thought, oh, this is a journey that I would absolutely love to be a part of. Not to mention the fact that Milo is playing the lead in it. And though I'd never met him before, I'm a big fan of his, and he's a great guy. He's one of the producers on the show, and I knew from the get-go that he was going to be our band leader. And it's just been nothing but a really positive experience, period. I hope we get to do it again in another season.
Oh, I'm sure that you will. I mean, critics love this thing. Audiences love this thing. That's a rarity in anything nowadays, that people are actually saying how much they like something.
Yeah, isn't that the truth?
So,
I know. It is.
You just mentioned something right there. Like when you heard Milo was a part of it, you knew you were gonna, want to do it because you're a fan of his, and then you meet him and he's a great guy. Um, that actually comes into play, like when you're choosing a role, right? Like, because with a television show, it's not like a movie where it's like, okay, I'm gonna do this indie for 6 weeks, or I'm gonna shoot for 30 days, and if I don't like everybody, we'll be able to get through it. But with a television show, you got to be able to see seasons and legs in this thing, right? There has to be a camaraderie amongst the cast.
Well, this is part of how this show came together. When Milo got a hold of this material a year ago, long before we shot the pilot, it was really important to him. He wanted to get this picked up, produced, and make this pilot because he literally finished This Is Us after 6 seasons, and after 6 seasons on a show with a crew that's pretty much intact, that's a very well-oiled machine. And so he finished This Is Us. Literally, week and a half, 2 weeks later, we started production on the pilot for The Company You Keep. So it was the same crew, we're talking, maybe 100, 150 people of a well-oiled machine. They came right over and started this. And then when this show was picked up, we have that same group. So Milo's real familiar with everybody. Awesome group of people. And then we step in as new actors for this new project. And there is a difference. You feel it on the set when you walk in and everybody has a shorthand with everyone in a good way. It's very positive. Not to mention, listen, there's always got to be somebody out there that puts that first step forward. And if it's a positive one, it reverberates everywhere. And that's just he just lives like that. And he brought that to this. So, the day one that I walked on set for when we started shooting the pilot, I felt it, and I'm like, this is the kind of place you want to be,
Oh, I hear you 100%. Now, I've heard you talk though before, like when you get a role, you want to be able to make sure that you have time with it to kind of get into that character's mindset, and understand the layers of the onion, if you will. And the character you play, Leo, has layers to the onion. Did you get to spend a lot of time with the character kind of before you showed up on set, like you like to do?
Listen, the most fun that I have is there's an old wood shop off my garage when we bought this house, and my wife was like, "Oh my God, I could do a million things with that room," and I'm like, "No, no, 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 the house is yours. This room's mine." So I got my man cave, and this is where I spend my time, where I'm sitting right now, to think about things. And to answer your question specifically, I've always felt really good scripts. The more that you read them, the more that you see in them. And Julia Cohen wrote the pilot for this, and I knew right from the get-go, there's something really special going on here. There's a lot of plates spinning. I love what's happening. I love the character. So I just needed as much, and I did have enough time. Yeah, I did have enough time because Milo talked to me about this maybe a month before we started shooting the pilot. So after I read it, I just said to my, representation that I'm absolutely up for this journey. And then I had a chance to meet Julia and Milo. I had a good month before we began to really think about it. And, by the time we started, and the truth is, you know what? I'm one of these actors that I still learn something every day about the guy, stay open. And it's a process that'll go on and on and on. And the writers help with that whole journey, but you got to let your imagination go, and good scripts can hold it. They can hold all of your thoughts. And I think that's what we got going on here for everybody who's on the show.
The Company You Keep is airing on ABC. Make sure you don't miss it. You can check out streaming on Hulu as well. Let me ask you this, because when I saw the promos for the show, I have to go back to that because I saw them well in advance. And there's a scene, I think, between the two leads. They're standing there at the bar, kind of conversing with one another. It gave me a lot of James Bond energy, right? The kind of that Milo has that James Bond leading man energy. Are you a Bond fan? And if so, like, who's your go-to Bond? I just want to know this for my own records.
Listen, no disrespect to the Bonds over history, but I think this is an age appropriate and dating me sort of thing. But I got to go back to Sean Connery. I just feel like that was Bond at its peak. Though I have watched some of the more recent Bonds, and Daniel Craig's pretty great. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a Bond film along. There was Timothy Dalton, Pierce Brosnan, right? Roger Moore.
Yeah, George Lazenby.
I don't know if I've ever seen a Bond film that what's that?
George Lazenby played it for one time, right?
That's right. God, I'm just pulling that one out. But I don't think I've ever honestly seen a Bond film where I thought, well, that didn't work. It's the Bond journey that you really sign up for.
Yeah, I agree, but I also agree that Sean Connery is the best to ever do it. I think everyone's just trying to reach those heights. I agree with you, Will. William Fichtner joins us right now. The Company You Keep is airing on ABC. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Congrats on the show. Critics love it. Fans love it. Audience listening right now, y'all will love it. Mr. William Fichtner is great in it. William, thanks for joining us.
You're welcome. Take care, Houston.